everyone right now is talking about what's happening, how we got here. I want to talk about solutions. I want to talk about where we go from here. Obviously, the situation in Israel-Palestine is awful. There is no way to justify what's going on there in any sense, from any side, in any direction. I believe an act of genocide is being committed right now, and it certainly isn't sustainable to have the Palestinian Authority be a terrorist group. That being said, what do we do? How do we solve this conflict? How do we stop the killing? It almost seems impossible. But I've come to understand there are a few clear options of what can happen and where we can go from here. The first option is a one-state solution with Palestinians as equals. Now, obviously, at this point, this seems impossible. There is so much vitriol. However, Israel already has a population of about 2 million Palestinians living in the country right now. It wouldn't be such a stretch to see the entire area be called Israel and to have any Palestinians be able to live there, gain citizenship, and have equal rights. The next option is one state without Palestinians. Now, just under this option, we have a few different scenarios that might play out. The first is the Palestinian people are dispersed to the other Arab countries. This would mean that there is no longer essentially a Palestinian people. They would join the other Arab populations in Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, those Lebanon, perhaps, those close countries in the area. Another scenario is that perhaps the international community decides that the Palestinian people should be given a plot of land somewhere on the Sinai Peninsula. This is one that honestly came into my mind. If I was Palestinian, my thought is, where would I want to go? There seems to be room there. It's even something that the Israeli government has floated. And then obviously the last scenario is they don't go anywhere, they are completely destroyed, and that clears the space for Israel. The last potential option here, and I think at this point the most probable to actually succeed, is one that was suggested by Jon Stewart. Essentially, the idea is that we would keep the borders as is, essentially. Palestinian people would still have control of Gaza and the West Bank. Obviously, all the settlers would have to be pulled back in order for this to happen. And then a demilitarized zone would be created on the border where all of those nearby Arab countries who say that the Palestinians are a top priority, that the safety of the Palestinians is a top priority for them, will band together in some kind of coalition and supply troops to oversee this demilitarized zone. That way, the Israelis and Palestinians will have a little bit of space between them, but they don't have to go anywhere. They can stay on the lands that they have now, and hopefully with that buffer, that there will be some space for some healing to happen, that the conflict will subside because they won't be right up against one another. You know, in the long term, this sounds like it could actually work. Obviously, at this point, there are a lot of different factors that are going to go into ultimately, determining what happens. One real question is whether we're even prepared to have an honest conversation about this at the international level. But there's no question that we need to. We all need to be contributing to a collective solution, throwing out ideas, having conversations with those who disagree with us, outlining, what we would like to see happen. Make your voice heard, because I have a theory. That there are more of us who are invested in peace and prosperity than those of us who are invested in death and destruction. Right now it seems that the death and destruction folks are winning, but I think that's just because a lot of us are staying quiet, and we need to raise our voice. We need to come out of the closet. We need to make ourselves heard and make peace the popular choice. If you liked what you heard, subscribe, come on.